Hello and welcome, friends. This is a new video. This is a new preview video as India plays the last three World Cup qualifiers against Qatar, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. We are gonna host two important people, two people who have been covering both their teams, India as well as Qatar, on this video preview, so that we can take questions. We can discuss both teams, their preparations, and how important it is for India, as well as in some context Qatar, to perform and play well, to play at the best of their abilities, and how the teams are prepared, how they're going to set up, how are the coaches looking at both these, all three of these games. So first and foremost, let me welcome Mr. Ashish Negi, who joins us from Uttarakhand at the moment. Welcome, Ashish.
Thank you, Puneet. Welcome to you also to our YouTube channel. And I think it's good to be on a different side of the video. This thing cannot be having lots of videos in last couple of years.
Yeah, we have shared the podium for so long, for so many videos, and today I'm playing your host, and Ashish is joining us as an expert for the Indian football team. Joining us from the other side of the sea, technically, is Mr. Sudesh. He is our correspondent from Qatar, and he has been following the Qatar national team for quite a while now. Sudesh, welcome to the panel.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome everyone watching us on YouTube.
Sudesh, my first question, let's just begin directly. How do you think Qatar has been preparing for these three qualifiers now? They've been in good form. They've played some brilliant matches. They've in fact drawn with some European teams as well. How do you think their preparation has been?
So I think Coach Felix Sanchez has always been a coach that has focused on being prepared before the matches. For example, Qatar went to Europe to prepare for their Asian qualifiers. Although this is not very significant to them because they're, in the top of the group, and then they're easing off in the group. But still, the fact that coach named his final squad for the qualifiers early and then took the squad to Europe to prepare for the matches, and they've been training really hard especially after the domestic season in Qatar ended in April. So I think the preparations has been quite well, and especially against the Blue Tigers, who they drew 0-0 last time around.
Two questions again on the back of your answer. First questions first. Now that they have already qualified, technically qualified for the third round of the qualifiers, do they think Qatar stand a chance against the other big Asian teams like Japan, like Iran, like Iraq, to really make it to the World Cup in Qatar? It's their home stadium, so obviously they'll be playing it. But otherwise, can they qualify for it on merit?
Yeah, I would say this is a good question, because ever since Qatar won the beat for the 2022 World Cup, one of the major concerns that people had was that Qatar, as a footballing nation, can it qualify on its merit? And I think, especially after winning the 2019 AFC Asian Cup, they've definitely proved to the world that they also have a solid team that can compete at least on the Asian level now. So I think at this point of time, at where the other teams stand as well, I think Qatar has a very good shot at qualifying on their own merit. Although it's dismissed, and they are the home country and they'll definitely play the World Cup. I think the quality is definitely there.
Yeah, the quality is definitely there. We've seen that in so many great performances from the Qatar national team in the last 4 or 5 years. They have been very consistent. They have been very, very powerful. Again, the second question to you from your last answer would be, how did the fans react to the goalless draw that India held Qatar at home? How was that? How did the fans react to that? Because India is not one of the strongest side, or at least not at par with Qatar. So how did the fans react to that?
I would like to relate this to a reaction that Felix Sanchez had after Gurpreet Singh Sandhu saved one of Almoez Ali's shot. I think every fan, whether be it Indian fans or Qatari fans, did not expect that result, especially after the dominating performance that Qatar put out. And the Blue Tigers nearly took the lead thanks to Danta's shot that just skyrocketed past the crossbar. I think the fans were quite astonished, and it will be one of those beautiful moments of football where an underdog comes and then earns a draw. So I think fans were I don't think Qatari fans were particularly disappointed, because it was indeed a great footballing display. So I think it's a win-win for every fan that was watching.
Okay, I'll take a cue from your answer and I'll go to Ashish. Ashish, do you think Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, do they have the ability to pull off another draw or maybe an upset? Because India needs a win.
The previous match which happened at Qatar, India was fantastic defensive unit-wise in that match. But now preparation-wise, we are not as ready as we were in the last time. If you see India's preparation, it's worse in the group if you compare with Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Qatar, and the other team also. We were supposed to start in April, but our team did not have any training session in India, and they have to request Qatari government and Qatari FA to host them early. They were supposed to reach Qatar on 30th of May, which is 2 days before, and they have to go there early because they can't train in India because of the COVID-19 situation in the country. Yeah. And if you talk about our domestic football, ISL, final have happened a way back. Then FC Goa players were active in AFC Champions League. Many of those players were fantastic for the team. I think it was a historical campaign for them also, and for Indian football also. But then AFC Cup games, which was supposed to happen in Maldives for ATK Mohun Bagan and Bengaluru FC players, it did not happen. So India is coming in these games with not very best preparation. Even at Qatar, they have struggled with the quarantine rules and regulations placed by Qatari government. They're just having one training session a day, and a whole day they are inside their room. There was some controversy, some quotes from the head coach Igor Stimac when he had a informal chat with the media regarding the same, and later on he has to rectify his word, and he has to release the counter statement of the same. Yeah. So I'm not sure, are we ready for another historic defensive performance against Qatar? Because even Qatar, as you guys said, Qatar have nothing to play in these games. But you have to remember, they will come against India thinking on revenge, because the draw which India played against them were headlines in many Asian media, not just in India, but all across Asia, because Qatar is a defending Asian champion. They are going into the FIFA World Cup 2022 as a host. And it's not that Asia is watching them, it's world is watching them, because there are already lots of controversy going on regarding the hosting rights and other kind of stuff with the stadiums and stadium and the works labor laws and another thing. But so world media is watching them. I think they will come very hard against India, and I'm hopeful as an Indian fan that we can maybe pull out a draw again. But the preparation wise, I don't think India is ready to put that resilient defensive performance against, because fitness plays a very important role. When you have to defend for 90 minutes, you 100%. Need to be very fit to play those 90 minutes, because international football, you're not playing for club football, it's a very intensive game. So I am a bit hopeful that we can pull out the draw again maybe, but talking about facts, I don't think India can pull out because of the fitness and the other situations around them, especially they have not trained much compared to other teams in the group. And Igor Stimac has already said about this also in that informal chat, that he might play a weak team against Qatar, considering the match against Bangladesh and Afghanistan are very important. And I think you have to consider that also, that maybe we will not see Sunil Chhetri playing, maybe we will not see Gurpreet Singh also playing. So it's dependent on coach how he's taking his game, but then he has to also consider that India does not concede 3 or 4 goals against Qatar, because the overall morale of the team will go down, and there is not much gap between the games after the Qatar game. So they have to make sure they does not lose very badly, so the momentum does not go in a negative way for them. So I think Igor Stimac needs to balance out his team tactics, his team selection accordingly. He can't just give youngsters against Qatar. They might score 5-6 goals against them, and conceding 5-6 goals and then going against Bangladesh, Afghanistan, with whom we did not have a good time last time. They are fast countries, and we should be beating them. I am very clear on that. On this platform for very long, we should not be playing draw or losing against Bangladesh and Afghanistan. And this is no disrespect to both the countries. It's all about India as a country, how we are doing in football. And you have to also consider Igor Stimac has inherited a team who played in Asia Cup, defeated Thailand 4-1, one of the highest FIFA ranking in recent time, which Stephen has left. So now, if you compare the FIFA ranking, Bangladesh is on a 185th in FIFA ranking. So this is no disrespect to Bangladesh. They're a fantastic country as a footballing nation, but I think India should be beating these two countries, but we have not. So we can't underestimate both the countries. So I think it's a thin edge between resting players or managing their fitness and then not conceding many goals.
Okay, I'll pick two parts from your answer. The first one is, as a fan, you're hopeful, but I want to take your view as an expert or as an analyst who has been covering Indian football for the longest time. Who would be your defensive pick? Like whether Gurpreet starts against Qatar because he made 11 brilliant saves against Qatar. Does he start or does Amrinder gets a chance? And who would
there
be
are lots of there are lots of chatter on social media going among fans. Who should be India's goalkeeper? Is it Gurpreet Singh, Amrinder Singh? Fantastic season with Mumbai City FC, a double. League Shield and the champions with Mumbai City in the ISL. And then there is another guy, Jigat Singh, who is in the squad. He has a fantastic FC Champions League. And I think India is lucky to have this amount of depth in goalkeeping department. The goalkeepers who are not in this squad, I'm very honest with you, the goalkeepers who are not in the squad, they might go and start for other Asian countries, because I hope that one day we have same kind of depth in the forward department. Maybe then hopefully we can score more goals. But if you ask me, I have been watching Indian football for very long, and everybody knows I'm a big fan of Dheeraj. I've been supporting him very young days, watching him under 14 days. I think it's still not Dheeraj's time for sure. I think he needs a bit more experience before playing these kind of games which are very intensive, because you can't commit a mistake. You have to remember, at international football, if you commit a mistake, game is over. Because if you're playing against Qatar, you will not get another chance, to come back. So I think I will pick Gurpreet Singh. I will go with the experience. He was fantastic. He was the man of the match against Qatar. So why should India change it? Maybe his form with Bangalore FC is not as good as it was with India, but you have to consider, club form sometimes goes out of the window when you're playing international football, and we have seen it all across international football, not just in India. So I will go with Gurpreet Singh, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Maybe against Qatar, if he wants to try Amrinder Singh, coach can go ahead with Amrinder Singh, but he has been mixing it up well with both the goalkeepers. But still, irrespective of the performance against Qatar, I will pick Gurpreet against Bangladesh and Afghanistan. And again, of course, we are speaking about Qatar game here, not the other two. I think coach dilemma will be, to give some minutes to Amrinder Singh, give him chance to test himself in the international football. But considering Bengaluru FC here, they have been training for a while for a FC Cup game, but they did not have any match practice. So it's also, you want to rest player, but I think coach needs to consider also giving playing time to some of these players who are not part of FC Goa setup, because they have played football in March last. So it's 2 months since. So I think it will be interesting first, but my take will be Gurpreet.
So who's your backline? I did not catch your backline. Okay. Who are your defensive forwards?
I have didn't told my backline as such. So picking up from Igor Stimac, he might go with experienced backline in the matches that matters, but Adil Khan form has been very bad for FC Goa in the FC Champions League. He was subbed before halftime in one of the games which he started, and the games which he came on was not a very good performance. So again, we have been saying that you have to keep sometimes club form outside of the window at international football, but Adil's form has been very bad. And Sana played well in the both the games in the international friendlies. Of course, the result was not good. We considered goal. I think I will go with Sandesh Jingan and Sana as a centre back. Right back, India does not have many options. Sarit and Fernandez, who are supposed to be in the squad, play these games, is out due to COVID-19. So I think considering Rahul Beke hasn't played much as a right back or right wing back, same with Pritam Kotal. So I think he might go with Pritam Kotal as a right back. And at the left back, I will go with young Akash Mishra. Some might say Igor Stimac might go with experienced Subhashish Bose. But again, Bose also have not played much as a left back in his career in recent times. So I will go with the people who have played in the position. Of course, on the right back, we don't have many options. So I'm going with the best option we have, which is Kotal, according to me, because we have experience playing in that position for national team also. So this will be my backline for Qatar game.
Okay, Sudesh, coming to you now. Given the backline that Ashish just suggested is actually played on the ground, who do you think will be most exploited by the Qatari attackers?
I think it all depends on the scenario that Qatar lines up its attack, because as of late, we've seen one of the most prominent Qatari attackers, Akram Afif, off the pitch because of injuries. So in this case, in the case that the coach does not play Akram Afif, it will be Hassan Al Heiros. And as we all know what he did to India last time around, shots from outside the box, inside the box, not even an acre of space. So I think, as Ashish highlighted, provided that Akram Afif does not play, it could be Hassan Al-Heiros from the left flank, because he can switch the flanks. He can play either right or left side of the pitch. So I think it's got to be, so it's got to be the right side of the Indian defense that could be exploited more by Qatar.
Okay, so the next question comes to you. With Akram Afif off the pitch, like, let's just think that he might make it as a late substitute in the game. How do you think that changes the system for Qatar? What would be their starting 11 that way? I mean the formation, not the players.
Analyzing the matches that Qatar recently played, they always went for a particular system that they have always followed under Felix Sanchez. That's kind of a 5-3-2 on papers. So it's like 3 men centre back and the 2 wing backs push up very high on the pitch. Either they are inverted or they occupy the width. So it has got to be 5-3-2. And the only change that I would expect to see is that Mohamed Muntari will come in place of Akram Afif. So it will be like Hassan Al-Heiros coming for the midfield, and there will be 2 strikers in Almoez Ali and then Mohamed Muntari.
Counter question, do you think with India, like Ashish said, that this is going to be, in a sense, a sort of revenge for Qatar, because they were hold on to a goalless draw, which is not usual for Qatar by India. Do you think they're going to tweak the system, make it more attacking in some way? Do you think the formation will technically change to a 3-4-3 or maybe even a 3-5-2, with the wing backs given more fluidity, more freedom to just venture out forward and, rip in those crosses?
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. And we've seen that happening with the Qatar national team when they played Bangladesh. They put five against them, and then the system was kind of transformed into 3-4-3 with even Abdul Karim Hassan getting some chances outside the box. Exactly. So I can definitely see them not settling for a small scoreline or preserving their players for the best, because I think they have an incredible squad depth and they can go all out in this game. So if they come out and seek for revenge, there's no denying that they will go all out all over India.
Taking a cue from what you just said, I'll come to Ashish. Ashish, Qatar is coming with a strategy to score in a lot of goals. Okay, let's just think that way. Do you think India should go with a 2 defensive midfielder formation, or should they just go on with a 4-3-3 that they regularly play, with 1 defensive midfielder and the other one is usually, playing as a number 6 or a number 8 and stuff like that? What is your opinion on that?
As I said, I understand that coach might express some fear. I went with the first choice backline, first choice goalkeeper. The reason behind that, because I want them to play more and more minutes. So there is no communication gap between them, So because Sandesh and Sana have not played much together. The same about Akash Mishra, Ketan Kochal, or Gopi Sindhu have been playing for national teams. So I went with the first choice defensive line and the goalkeeper because I want them to play more minutes. In the midfield, I have different thinking here. Brandon Fernandes is just coming back from injury. Yeah. He has minutes in AFC Champions League. Fantastic. All the assists, all the goals India have scored in this World Cup qualifiers and as Goa scored in AFC Champions League has been assisted by Brandon only. So, but for this game, I might against Qatar, I might think that coach needs to rest him and give minutes like somebody like Glenn Martin, who have never played for India before. So I think he has a cap or something for under 23. I'm not sure, but this is the first game he will be playing under Igor Stimac. Play Glenn Martin and play maybe Robin Borges alongside, and that will give you defensive stability. And Glenn Martin has shown that he can also contribute in attack. We have seen him doing well for FC Goa in ISL and AFC Champions League whenever he's gone forward. And third choice, I think, considering how India is going to play, I think Igor Stimac can pick Amrut Thapa or maybe give chance to Khel also, because if India need to score goals against Bangladesh and Afghanistan, I don't know how many goal scorers we have. We have Sunil Chhetri, Manveer Singh. So midfielders also need to chip in with the goals. I think Khel is one of those players who can score goals alongside Brendan. So maybe give some confidence to Khel also some playing time, or he can give Thapa also some time, because he has to pick his best team against Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So I think maybe start with Thapa and then bring Khel around 60 or 70 minutes, so that both the Thapa and Khel have some minutes under the belt. And then of course when the team goes to Bangladesh and Afghanistan, that which player needs to be picked. So that will be my midfield, going 3 solid midfielders in form of Glenn Martin, Robin Borges, and Anuj Thapa from start, and give Khel some minutes and bring off Thapa in and around 60 minutes.
Question. Borges isn't the fastest mover on the pitch. He isn't the fastest. He isn't very speedy. He's very experienced. Sure, he's good at pushing the ball forward and all of that. But do you think someone like a Pranay Haldar, who's a destructor, or even a Suresh Singh Wangjam, who has played a lot of destructive football in the heart of midfield for Bengaluru FC, come into the scheme of things? Because you already have a passer, and you really don't need a lot of passes against a team which is going to keep a lot of ball with them. Qatar is certainly going to keep a lot of ball. So why not replace someone like a Rowland Borges with someone like a Suresh Singh Wangjam, or even Pranay Haldar, who's got experience under his belt, who's got the physicality to fight it out in the middle of the park?
So very good opinion from your side. But if you ask me, both Glenn Martin and Anuj Thapa doesn't have much of experience playing the base of the midfield. I think which is a very important position. If you see Glenn Martin at FC Goa in Champions League, I think Attribution was playing as a number 6, even being the more attacking player, and Glenn Martin was given that role of number 8. So I have picked Roland Borges because of experience. You need somebody to organize the midfield also, and it's not that Roland Borges has played many games for India, but he has been playing for India for a while now. Under Stephen he has done well, and he has been part of this national team for the last 3-4 years. So that's why I picked Roland Borges. You can pick Pranay Haldar, but his disciplinary record, he might concede those cards, and to go man down against this Qatari side, I think we'll be crying, for any team. So if we don't want to get down to 10 men, that's why I picked Roland Borges. I have also picked Roland Borges because you have to consider that who will be your 2 midfielders against Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So it can be Glenn Martin, but with the Roland Borges experience, and Roland Borges can also ping the balls, just like Edu Vidya has done for FC Goa, So I think that role suits Borges more in compared to Glenn Martin, Thapa, or even Pranay and Suresh also. Because I have not seen Suresh also playing as a base of the midfield, which is a very important position. Even if you don't keep the ball, even you are chasing the game, but you need that base of the midfield very solid to organize your midfield, to push up the midfield when needed, to press the ball when needed, ask other players to press the ball also, because that's why you need an experienced shoulder there. Samai asks Lalan Noia, what he has done, he can also start. I have no problem, Lalan Noia is a fantastic player, but again, you have to consider India is in the very current situation in this group stage. We need to win these 2 games. We need young players, but I think right now, as Igor Stimac said, that he might not try any of these young players, because he said he wants to go with experience. It's his job in line. He has not got a longer extension, just a couple of months extension from AFF side, and which also shows the lack of confidence from AFF technical committee on him. So he's also,
and India doesn't play any game in this duration. So these 3 games is kind of going to decide his future also. So I think see how Roland Borges do in this match, and of course we have already seen some like Lalan Noia, Suresh doing well for India, and they do these 2 friendlies, and that's why the friendlies were for experiment, to give young players chance. Now in a different situation, you need results, and as I said, I don't want India to concede 5-6 goals. We have to keep this match scoreline compact, play well, take confidence, and then go and beat Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Okay, so experience over raw power and raw youth. Coming to Sudesh, who do you think, like the midfield that was suggested by Ashish was Rowland Borges, Glenn Martins, and Anuj Thapa, or even Sahal later in the game? Who do you think has the ability to make things difficult, or at least challenge Karim Bodiaf and Asim Madibo, or whoever joins Bodiaf in the heart of the midfield for Qatar?
So I think Ashish made a very valid point there, considering that Qatar like to kind of start very wide and then narrow down as they go towards the final third. The midfield battle is going to be very vital for India. And since they want to keep the ball, I think with Karim Bodiat, it has to be Abdulaziz Hatem in the Qatar side. Okay. And I think Roland Borges, considering that he has played quite a few matches with India and he kind of wants to be the base of the midfield, I think that's the way to go for India right now. I'm not particularly informed about the new talents that are coming up or the other options that Igor Stimac has in his armory, but I think this is the way to play safe. And in order to ensure that India does not concede more or even has a shot at containing Qatar in a draw, it has to be a midfielder that can control the tempo of the game. And in order to organize that, I think Roland Borges would be definitely very vital.
Give more freedom to their fullbacks and the space behind these two fullbacks. Do you think India needs two proper wingers who can cross the ball? Someone like an Udanta Singh and an Ashik Kurunian, or even a Holichand Nazari, who's not in the squad, I know. Someone like a Listen Colasso who can cut inside and make things happen.
Again, Liston was given a limited playing time by Igor Stimac in the international friendly. He has called back to Udanta Singh. I think this for me is not a surprising decision, irrespective of his form with Bangalore FC. That lad is a talented footballer. It's just that his confidence has been very down for a while now, playing in that wide winger role. We have to consider that Udanta was a centre forward in his youth days, converted into winger, and I think the confidence to score goals in Bangalore FC, especially the system they were playing, has his confidence has gone down accordingly. I think this can be a good game for him. He loves to counter-attack, the pace, the physicality Udanta has. I don't think any Indian winger has. Pace, maybe the physicality part. He played for Stephen, and Stephen loves players who can tussle for the ball, So I think this can be the game. Try Udanta Singh from right wing and give somebody like Bipin Singh from left wing who can create. We have seen him creating in ISL, can score goals also. And I think because Bipin Singh have just came into the Indian team, we know all about Ashik Quran, what Ashik Quran can do. Maybe he can try it as a left back also in some games, because when you are attacking, when you have a ball, you can put him in a left back. I think for if you ask me, I think he should go with something like Bipin Singh on left, and you don't have many right winger in the squad, because Bipin also likes to play from left. Chante also likes to play from left. Liston also likes to play from left. Same with Asi. I think to give Udanta some confidence on the right wing is very important. So I will go with Udanta and Bipin Singh, and of course you can make 5 serves in these games now. So you always have chance to bring other players in. Somebody like Lalan Moia can come in midfield later on. And same with someone like Chante, Listen Colasso, Ashik Quran can come on later on. But I think to give confidence, I think Udanta Suman on right, Bipin Singh on left for me. Both have ability to run behind the defense, but I think Bipin Singh is more of a player than just runner. He can also create, can hold the ball, and we have seen he can score the goals also. So as I said, India need more and more goal scorers going into the next 2 games. I think it's a good chance to bring Udanta Singh back in form, because he loves to play where there's a space to run behind, and I think that's where he's at his best.
Okay, and who would be your number 9?
I think
you've decided on a formation clearly. That's a 4-3-3 going by how you have shaped it up. Like Glenn Martins and Anirudh Thapa playing right above Roland Borges with Bipin Singh on the left and Udanta Singh on the right. Who's going to be your number 9, and where does Manveer Singh fit in?
Yeah, so very interesting, and because many people in the Indian football fraternity, especially social media users, believes now Manveer Singh is a winger. I think he is not. Kind of role which Habas has played in is a wide forward.
Wide forward role.
It's not he was playing as a winger. If you see Roy Krishna and who were playing on the left, they were dropping deep. They were leaving Manveer Singh up ahead, to hold the ball and bring others into play, and that's why he has played best football for ACK Mohun Bagan last season. I think for me right now, the team spot, I think Manveer Singh is the best number 9. Shyam Pandita has scored goals, but we have seen in the AFC Champions League how limited he is as a player when he is not scoring the goal. I am not seen him getting involved in attacking play as much as I want him to see, because I have said this many times on this platform only. Ishan Pandit has scored goals from limited opportunities he got at Goa. But still, if you ask Juan also at FC Goa, he said that he needs to improve his overall play. I think Ishan can be good option to come from bench. But my number 9 will be Manveer Singh and Sunil Chhetri coming off from bench again. Maybe Sunil Chhetri can play left-sided role which he played for Bangalore FC for very long against Bangladesh and Afghanistan. I will go with Manveer Singh in this game for sure because of his physicality. He can hold the ball. You need somebody who can hold the ball and get your team up. Give them defenders and midfielder time to come up when release the ball to your centre forward.
Also, the physicality that he's got, the height that both Manveer as well as Ishan offer, they're very important in crosses. If you're playing Udanta, you need someone who can get to the end of the crosses and convert them into goals. With Chhetri, he's got a great leap, he's got a great head, but yeah, obviously height is a factor that comes in.
Height is a factor. You have to also consider Chhetri has not played centre forward for a while now.
For a long time, yeah. He's always played number 11.
Fantastic goal scorer, and again, his fitness needs to be managed. Igor Stimac already said regarding Chhetri only. He was asked in the press conference, informal chat with the media, and he said, "I need to manage him properly."
Yeah.
And he needs Chhetri against Bangladesh and Afghanistan.
Both, yeah.
As you can make 5 subs, I think should start with Manveer Singh because he is that number 9 who has scored goal, who has played for India and done well in this role also. You have to see
and
that
he
also.
He played brilliantly against Qatar. That's just
you remember he did well against Qatar, and he has been playing well for club and country for a while now. I think people need to give him chance because playing number 9 is not an easy job in modern football. It's a very underrated job. It's not. There are many number 9 in Indian football. Same in world football. You don't find many number 9 right now. They are strikers, but not a typical number 9. And after Robin, we have Robin Singh was there before Manveer. We have Manveer Singh, so we need to preserve him and give him more and more opportunity in the central role. I don't want to see Manveer Singh playing a right winger. Maybe when you're chasing the game, you're bringing Ishan Pandita or Sunil Chhetri to central. Maybe then you can put him a right winger. I don't want to see Manveer Singh starting games as a right winger because he is not a winger in my eyes. Because he's a forward, he's a centre forward. If you want to play on a right, that you have to make your tactics accordingly, just like Havas did at ATK Mohun Bagan. So this is a debatable topic all across Indian social media and among Indian football fans and forums and social media groups. I think I still see Manveer Singh playing as a number 9. I don't see him playing as a right winger or then play Ishan Pandit or Sunil Chhetri as a number 9.
Okay, that's great. Sudesh, if Manveer or Ishan, whoever starts, let's just go with Manveer. Who do you think is that one back line of Qatar who he can attack and, make use of space in front of him, behind him, can out jump in headers and stuff like that? Who's that one person that Manveer can out jump or outplay?
So as of late, it's been a defender named Al Rawi who's been played very frequently by Felix Sanchez. And considering that he has not accumulated a lot of experience in the national side, and considering everything that Ashish said about the physique and being a typical number 9, I think Al Rawi, if he plays, will be the target point for Manvinder Singh. And then other things like there are peculiar perks of playing Manvinder Singh in this against this Qatari backline, because as you can see, there are like 3 central defenders that are playing, and there are 2 wing backs. So they're it's definitely going to be a very wide backline, and in order to make runs behind a very physical backline, you need someone like Manvinder Singh. And I think considering that Manvinder Singh has those capabilities, I think he can make use of the width between the centre backs. But in particular, if Felix Sanchez chooses to play Al Rawi, it's got to be Al Rawi who Manveer Singh will counter on.
Okay, Al Rawi is the guy. Ashish, coming back to you. Al Hedos, if Akram Afif doesn't play, is the linchpin of Qatar's attack. Who do you think can keep him quiet? Do you think Raul Borges should be man marking him, or does it goes down to Sandesh Chingan who has to, keep him under control?
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of man marking players. If you ask me, especially by your centre back or your defensive midfielder, because they might go out of the game. If opponent is clever, they can stretch them down. So you will not. I will not see a defensive midfielder or centre back marking him. But I think Chingan Sana, Sandesh Chingan, Raul Borges, they have all the abilities, to track players, to block their shots, to be tight with them. But I will not give any man marking duties to any 3 of them. Maybe Glenn Martin or maybe Thapa or whoever starts alongside. They can be given that man marking job, but not the 3 most important defensive players in the team, because you need to keep them free so that they can play according to the situation. That is very important for India, that Sandesh Chingan has a good game. Sana or Adil, who plays, have a good game. Same with Roland Morris, because we don't have many players who can play in the base of the midfield, can keep the ball, and I think give him some freedom. If you give a man marking duties, he might be out of the game. You never know if the player his man marking to is clever enough to track him down to the to the wings or to the back line of the India.
Okay.
And also, I'd like to add something on that.
Please add.
Yeah, considering that a player of Alheiro's caliber who can be extremely mobile throughout the pitch, like he can basically go vertical and horizontal, it would be kind of a risk to allow anyone marking him, especially when he can move around the pitch like that.
Okay.
So Puneet, before we move on, I have 2 questions for you also. You have been covering national team for a while for Khel now, and you have been writing many of the national team stories for us. And so it's not so you have been just host here. So I just want your views also. How do you see Igor Stimac comments, before the games in the press conference which have done? Do you think he looks confident to you, or he's just making sure that people know what our situation is? If some bad results come, they should be ready. Do you think so? He's playing those quotes accordingly.
Look, the situation isn't good. Like you said, the team isn't well prepared. The training sessions that were to be held in India did not take place, and clearly we are underprepared. The domestic season has ended a long time ago. Only one club, or in fact, to be honest, 2 clubs have been practicing since then. So we do not have a lot of players who have been in touch. Rustiness is a problem that has been degrading the national team for some time now. So maybe he's playing the cards keeping the cards very close to his chest. Maybe he's just, I don't know. Maybe it's all true, whatever the comments that were made. But I think the kind of extension that he has been given, it's a clear signal that okay, we'll take one step at a time, and we don't put in a long. It's not a 3-year deal, and we don't put in full believe in you. If you don't qualify for these, we'll review your situation. So it's not, AIFF hasn't put up a white flag to him that whatever the results are, we'll go ahead with you, and we are believing in your vision and ability. So that's something that really irks him. Maybe it has left an imprint inside him, and maybe these comments were made on back of them. The team looks good, to be honest. The right mix of youth and experiences that he has picked. He has really picked the team on the basis of experience, on the basis of performances in the domestic season, and as well as the AFC Cup, which is shown by Glenn Martins' selection, which is a good thing. But now he needs to really, like you said, he needs to stand up and make results count, make things happen. It's not just about giving debuts and testing systems and all of that, not anymore. He needs to give results. He needs to take India to the AFC Asian Cup, the next one, obviously. So, there is a hint of desperacy there. There might be a hint of tension as well. I think the comments were made with keeping a lot of things in mind, and it's not just footballing.
Seeing the where we are standing right on the group stage, the ranking terms, the space is not for you has withdrawn. So the result against last place team will not be considered for the ranking of best 4th place and 2nd place teams.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a hint here. So technically, no one is getting knocked out of the Asia Cup qualifiers in this group. Yeah. Even if you finish 5th, you will play the playoff. I think, if you ask me, if India doesn't finish on a 3rd, on the best 4th place team to go directly in the 3rd round, if India goes to the playoff from here, I think it should be sacked. I maybe sound very critical here, but I think it should be sacked. If India doesn't make the 3rd round directly, we are going to the playoff. I'm very critical with this, but I think hopefully we'll go to the 3rd round directly, because the squad he inherited, of course, India is playing good football, but I think results are also very important in international football. And if we have to play one-off playoff, you never know which one-off team you will face in that playoff, and you might be knocked out, and then you don't have anything to play next 2 years, official games, because we are out of the 22 World Cup, and then we're out of the 23 Asia Cup also. So I think I might sound critical here, but that's how AIFF technical committee is also sounding here, because they've given him 2 months, 3 month extension. So they are also not sure that is he right man to take India forward, even if India doesn't make to the third round directly and there is a playoff. So I think these three games, that's why these press conference also happened, and these reasons were given. Quarantine, training. I know situation is not easy, and the preparation is not ideal, but we could have avoided this if we have defeated Afghanistan and Bangladesh in the first two games. We would have comfortably sitting third, and we would have taken this game easily. So that's my opinion. I think hopefully India will do well and go to the third round, because Igor Stimac has done well. But of course, I have been very critical of his team performance and the decision he has taken till now. So hopefully we go to third round directly.
I hope that happens. And let's just look at the other side as well. We've been covering the national team games for a long time now, to be fair, and a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of journalists, a lot of experts, we were all critical about how Stephen Constantine used to play his football, like hit the ball to the strikers and let them do their thing. That's something Dimitar Berbatov used for Kerala Blasters system. Anyway, so if Igor Stimac is planning on doing some things differently, if he's planning to play possession football, while your point is right that India needs results as well, which is very important, do we not give him a longer rope to play this system? Because players like Amarjit Singh Khiam would not have entered the system. Selton Fernandez isn't just performing now. He's been performing good for FC Goa since 2017. And he was never picked up. Brandon Fernandez was technically never picked up by Stephen Constantine. Now that Brandon is playing, now that Ranier is set to play sometime down the future, do we not give this person a little more time? Because whoever comes in doesn't assure us of qualification in the 2023 Asian Cup, or let the World Cup go. 2023 Asian Cup, we are not making it. Let's just, give this person more time, the 2 years that he has from now to until the next qualifiers begin. Let him build his side. He is building a young side. Maybe in 2 years' time, he'll have something. He'll have a set pattern. He'll have creators like Bipin Singh. He'll have creators like Liston Kulasa, who will be 24 or 25 by then. He'll have something on his mind. I'm not against the idea of him getting sacked. I'm okay with that. But I think until when? Because if you go back to a system where Stephen Constantine, someone like him, comes and plays balls from behind, it really is going on in the old circle from two to four.
So I will just take it over from here. If you remember an article, I think you only did regarding Igor Stimac's tenure in Indian football, and when India played well for him, it was when we did not have majority of the possession. The only victory came against Thailand, and we have 45% of the possession. So my story is very simple in that you can't implement a footballing playing style at the senior team level. India doesn't have any active youth teams. I think it should be under 16, under 19, under 23 team. Should be you're implementing that footballing style, and then when these players, like the youngsters like Popo, have come on from the same system, but we don't have a regular teams, youth teams playing football. Under 23 team is not active for last 3-4 years now. I think it's not international stage, senior team stage level where you're implementing a style and you say just to implement a style you give a time. Indian football needs results. Even at ISL, if you have to progress to the beyond the current fan following, in India, you need to get results because you are competing with something like cricket. I'm not saying that India needs to win World Cup like cricket, but you need to perform well at the international stage so that the European football fans in India, they start taking India seriously. I'm very happy to give a coach a time to implement his style, but it's 2 years since he has taken over. And I'm not sure what is his identity, what type of formation he plays, and what is his playing style, because of course he wants to keep the ball. That we have seen till now. But his best performance for India has come when we don't have a majority of the possession. We had a very good position against Bangladesh and Afghanistan, and we were chasing the game till 90 minutes. So maybe he don't have the players he need right now. Maybe strikers are not there who can finish those chances. But again, you have to consider that we are not that bad in Asian football that we are not making the third round of the AFC Asian Cup, because this was an easy group for India. I'll be very honest with you. If India would have played its own potential, we would have defeated Bangladesh, Afghanistan. And again, I'm saying I'm not underestimating both these countries, but considering the amount of money we have invested in Indian football and from where Igor Stimac inherited this squad. He inherited a squad, a young Indian squad, not too many experienced, not too many old players were there in that Asia Cup squad. And Indian team FIFA ranking was around 100. Again, FIFA ranking is kind of a myth, but that's another tool you can use to judge a team.
Quality.
I consider going back to Stephen. It's not a big fan of Stephen playing five, but you have to see he took a first 2 years to take out aged player. I will throw some names. If you remember against Nepal, Sudesh is Nepali, so I don't know if I watched that game or not. 2015 when Stephen came was preparing for that playoff match against Nepal. Soumik Dev was his left back.
He's been
what kind of squad Stephen inherited and what kind of squad he left. He left a good Indian squad. I understand Brendan is one of favorite players. Everybody know that he was not there. But by the time Brendan emerges in Indian football, Stephen has set the score of his team ready. By 2017, the score of team was ready, and I think he kept that same throughout the period, and that gave him the result ultimately. That victory against Thailand, we were so near against Bahrain, and we could have gone into the next round of the Asia Cup. So that's what I'm saying. The identity under Igor Stimac is missing. Maybe we'll see that identity in the next couple of games. But if we don't make it to third round, I am critical here. But I think back of the mind, I also know the circumstances, how he's appointed, what were the factors involved. So maybe I don't want him to see him continue going ahead. I think India needs coach who can implement good playing style, but who can get you the good result on short term also. Because as a footballing nation, we need our country to do well. If Indian football needs to go ahead in terms of popularity, in terms of media coverage, in terms of broadcasting and everything, we need national team to do well, irrespective of how our clubs and ISL is doing. So they want to add something more.
I would talk about an example that India can learn from the rivals on Thursday, Qatar. For example, you can see the under-19 team that won the AFC under-19 championships in 2014, I guess, and the same lineup that won the under-19 World Cup, like Asian Cup, is now the core of the team that won the 2019 Asia Cup. And as Ashish pointed out, it comes from the youth ranks, and the current coach Felix Sanchez also came from the youth ranks. He first trained the under-19s, then under-23, and then he's kind of taking the same team towards the same philosophy, And the very interesting thing here is that the under-19 team that won the 2014 Cup were all from the same academy. So it came from the very grassroots level, and there was an identity that was being built. And especially in terms of where Igor Stimac stands in India's context, it's definitely a time to give someone a time. Whether be it Igor Stimac, there will be a time where you need to give a coach a long-term project, and I think this is what India can also see through Qatar's success as of late in Asian football, or even in world football, as we can say that.
Just before we wrap up this, just want to add one more stuff here. As I said it, and as Sudesh also said it, you need projects. But I think project need to be there at under-19 level, under-23 level. If you want to implement a site, give them a 4 or 5 year contract at under-19, under-23 level. I have no issue with it. But at senior level, when these same players are doing well at the club level, and we have seen how Goa had done in AFC Champions League, and I thought in 2019 that we have left SAF countries behind. I stopped going to the SAF group. I said, stop interacting with Nepali friends and Bangladeshi friends. And I am back to the same cycle now. And they started interacting with me, and maybe I've left them, they have came back to me now. So I think we're back to the same cycle, to be between the SAF nation. I was thinking India can send their under-23 team in the SAF championship next time. Yeah. And because with how Nepal, Bangladesh treat SAF championship, I'm not sure we can run the next SAF championship with the current form. So I think if you talk about projects, give the project to the under-19, under-23 coach. Let's have senior team, the core coming from those spots, and we have that core coming. Sri Andu Thapa coming from youth team, Dheeraj coming from youth team, Udanta Singh coming from youth teams. So that's the point. Qatar, which is one of the best example in Asia alongside Vietnam. They have won Asia Cup in 2019, and that core of this squad has come from Felix throughout the youth ranks. And I think it's not a chemical formula, which is very tough to understand. You need to implement playing style, system at a youth level, and then get those kids graduate to a senior team. And this is all across world football also. We have seen in club football, class of 92 at Manchester United, you know, the mantra of the success was because they played together for so many years, and they did same for the senior team. I think that should be the India's approach. Instead of implementing a project or a playing style at the senior level, I think results are important at the senior level.
Okay, last question for both of you. Going first with Sudesh. Sudesh, predict a score line.
I mean, I'm not too good with predicting the score lines, but I think it's got to be 3-0 Qatar.
3-0 Qatar. Ashish?
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for one more draw maybe. But how India is prepared, I think hopefully Sudesh's score line proved correct, because I don't want to concede more than 2 goals.
Okay. As an Indian fan, I just hope India draws this, or at least comes out with a lot of good confidence defensively. And I hope you guys like it. I hope this has been a riveting conversation. We have been able to give you some insight into both teams, how they're going to play, who's going to be their chief playmakers or chief destructors for the opposition teams. And I wish both teams the best.
Thank you very much. Before signing out, to all our subscribers and fans watching, you can subscribe to Khel TV, and you can also like our social media handles. The links are in description box, and also you can we will put the Twitter links for Puneet and Sudesh also. You can give them follow on Twitter if you want. Thank you very much for joining in. We will see you post match against Qatar.
Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you, Sudesh.
Thank you, Sudesh. Thank you, Ashish. Goodbye.